The Weather Service has issued a level 2 warning for disruptive rains and strong winds in the Western Cape, putting disaster teams on high alert. Celeste Fourie, meteorologist at the South African Weather Services, joins us now for more. Celeste, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. So how would you explain in layman terms, right, so that everybody understands what has actually resulted in such inclement weather, particularly in Cape Town this time?
Well, as you know, it is winter season now, and Cape Town does get most of their rainfall during the winter seasons. So this is actually an exceptional week where we are expecting 5 cold fronts to make landfall within this upcoming week. So as Dr. Johan did mention that we have been issuing level 2 warnings out for the Western Cape side. But pushing into the weekend and into early next week, we are upgrading those wind and wave warnings up to level 4 and even level 6. That is due to this short frequency on which the cold front will be making landfall over or towards the end of the weekend. So it is just basically that there is not any break expected within the weather systems as they are upcoming or they continuously bombard the southwestern coastline of the country.
Now, it seems, Celeste, like this is an ongoing issue, right, in various provinces. We've seen recently in KZN as well as the Eastern Cape, even though it's not the same type of weather pattern in all the provinces. I mean, KZN, for example, just recently had that tornado that was more destructive than any other before in the country, as well as the mudslides are now becoming slowly a regular inclement weather pattern. What do you, of course, give as reasons to this?
Well, the KZN tornado that you did mention was due to a different weather system. That weather system is called a cut-off low pressure system. And that is cut-off low pressure systems do occur all over the year, but they most frequently appear during transition season, so that would be between spring and autumn. But like I did mention, they are not uncommon in early winter as well. But the Utangati tornado was a very specific sequence of weather events that led to that significant tornado. And just a brief overview is it started all the way with a line of thunderstorms approaching from the Free State side and then entering the KZN northern side. So it was a very big build-up to that tornado. So it's not a very isolated thunderstorm that created that tornado. It was a whole synoptic weather pattern at play there.
And now, Celeste, I mean, talk to us about, I heard you mention a level 2 warning. A lot of people would not understand just the seriousness or, the category of these numbers. So maybe in brief, just give us a brief explanation as to what you mean when, as the Weather Service, you are giving a level 1 to 6 weather warning.
Well, it is on on all our social media pages. We do add the matrix that explains the weather warnings with it, but it just takes the likelihood versus the intensity of the impacts that we are expecting. So when we say yellow level 1, we have a low likelihood of minor impacts. So instead, where we have, let's say, an orange level 6, we have a moderate probability of significant impacts. So it is an entire matrix based on the possibility of the probability of the impact versus the intensity of the impact expected. But it is, you just consult our social media pages, and then there you can see specifically what each number is associated with.
But not all of us understand these things, Celeste. That's why I'm just asking, because I'm sure we get this a lot, right? That people do not, in fact, from the weather services itself, that people do not heed some of the warnings. Because I've taken a coat to work at some point because, I'm expecting a blizzard, but nothing happens. So you tend to then think, oh, okay, the accuracy, and start asking many questions. But leave that aside. Are you, as the weather service, exploring other means to try and give out that message so that it actually reaches those people like in low-lying bridges, because we're often reporting about cars that still get swept, even though there has been those warnings that you've been issuing as the weather services?
So to answer that question, a few years ago, we did switch our warning systems from a normal warning system, how can I say, where we addressed heavy rainfall as 50 millimeters or more over a 24-hour period, but that didn't have any impact connected with it. So that then we decided to switch to an impact-based weather system. So that is then where we say we're expecting a yellow level 2 warning for, let's say, disruptive rainfall now in Western Cape's instance. But then we say the impacts that we are expecting, let's say it's disruptive rain, so it might lead to localized flooding of major roads, or might influence the informal or rural settlements. So that, but we are looking at ways that we can use of the impacts that we are expecting and make it in a more easier way for the public to interpret, because this matrix that we are currently using is very scientific based, and we are aware that the general public usually do not have the time to go and study up the science between our matrix.